Revolutionary greetings. Haki Kweli Shakur. On to my next topic. And this is a serious topic. And this is a serious topic that must be understood and our people must get educated on. It's called organizing. Right now, we're being out organized. Black people are being out organized in the United States of America. That is the first thing that you must come to grips with. Black people are being out organized. Nothing else matters, man. The main focus should be focused on true New African communal organizing and true black liberation organizing, man. This should be the main topic and the main thing we should be focusing on right now, because that's where we're losing the war at. And this is for the people, my black people, who don't realize that they're in, a war, a historical war that's been going on for generations, since our people been here and since our people been kidnapped and brought here forcibly from Africa. And that's okay, Can't get too mad, with certain people. You can only get mad with the people who will continue to repeat and lead us down the wrong path, man. That's what we should be mad at. The people who continuously lead us down the wrong path in the wrong way of organizing against a historical imperialist government, period. You see what I'm saying? And the shit real out here, man, and a lot of people just playing games, man, and I don't think y'all really know what y'all fighting against. So this video is just to clear that up a little bit, try to put some little bit of education out there that I have, and collectively, from some of the OGs and all the people that I, rock with, comrades, all that we have built with, been educated on and so forth, man. And this organizing thing must be taken very seriously, man. And while I'm talking about this, I just want to make this point also, like, I'm anti-reform, man. And a lot of my people are, anti-reformists. Whether it's the black liberation movements, organizations, revolutionary organizations, political organizations, all across the board, man. Whether you're a communist, a socialist, a new African nationalist, a nationalist, period. You feel me? And across the board, man, is we are anti-reform, man, anti-reformists, and anything dealing with reform, as far as black people dealing with this, government of the United States of America, man. And historically across the board, man, as far as anybody that's educated on liberation struggles globally in our history and now, is that you can't reform a historical killer. It's impossible. You can't reform a historical oppressor. It's impossible. You only can remove and destroy what that system of oppression that's oppressing you, and those people that's oppressing you have to be removed. You see what I'm saying? That's complete revolutionary change. Not to reform something that can't be reformed. You see what I'm saying? So we got a lot of cats walking around here, and they claim they revolutionary, but pushing reformist ideology. And why I know they pushing reformist ideology, because I see it through their actions. You see what I'm saying? And you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about a lot of people. I'm talking about young cats, older cats, man. Get over reform, man. Reform is a suicidal ideology. Because anybody that wants to reform something that can't be reformed has to be insane. Period. And to keep trying to beg your way into a system that's not built up for you, and you know, a country that's not governed your best interests, and their laws don't respect you, and those laws are not for you, and those laws are not made for you, and you trying to reform that to make it better for your conditions here in, you know, North America, you got to be insane, man. You might as well just go pick up a, you know, a 40 Glock and just off yourself, man. Because that's all you're doing when you begging for reform, man. We anti-reformists, man. Because reform comes under the relationship of the colonized and the colonizer. You know, relationship. There's a relationship there between the black colony that's struggling to get free and its oppressor, which is the United States Corporation of America. You got to understand that relationship of the colonized and the colonizer. You don't beg your colonizer to fix your problems. You don't beg your colonizer to stop killing you. You see what I'm saying? Because either way, systematically, they're going to structure a way to keep controlling you. It's all a part of the control system, man. That's what this is, man. When you're dealing with the relationship of the colonizer and the colonizer, it's a relationship of, you know, continuous oppression, repression, you know, and control. At the end of the day, it's about control of your, how can I put it, of your opposition. Op. That's what an op is, your opposition. You see what I'm saying? The global elites against the lower class people, man. Or should I say, the global elites against the people. This is what the war is, man. It's specifically black people versus the United States of America. We're being out-organized. This is why we're losing this war. This generational war, man. This genocidal war with the beast. Because we get, you know, if you're out-organized, man, you're going to continue to lose, man. Being out-organized, man. And that's what this video is. It's called Black People Are Being Out-Organized, New African Order. It's time for some order, man. You know, I'm going to just run down something real fast, you know, on what a true revolutionary should be doing right now. And what a true nationalist should be doing right now. I'm a new African nationalist, so I believe in, you know, sticking to the objectives of our goals and destiny. You see what I'm saying? As a nation of people that's struggling to get free within the empire. Black people, you're a colony, man. You're a nation within a nation of an empire. Period. Get that educated in your mind. You are a separate nation within an empire of several other nations, black, brown, yellow, whatever. That's a colony. They're colonies. You see what I'm saying? So why would you think the empire laws? No, let me rephrase that. Why would you think you can get justice for laws that are governed to control you? And to oppress you and kill you, man. And to eliminate your existence. Why? That's reform. That's suicide. Period. And then you could tell by how these, and them lawyers, because I'm speaking specifically on the domestic terrorism of police on New African people and Chicano people across North America, man. Black and brown. Specifically my people right there. Those lawyers of all these families of all these cats that have been murdered, teenagers, grown men, women that's been murdered by the military force, the police across the United States of America. These lawyers are agents, man. You got, you know, when you see families on TV keep on talking about peaceful protesting, you know, Negro leaders call for peaceful protesting, that's a form of control. Why do you think they doing that? Who do they work for? They work for the empire. Everything they do is situated around the laws of the empire that the empire controlled, that the empire created to control people. Listen to the language. If you're gonna look at the media, the European media, listen to the language. Listen to what they're talking about, man. Years and years of the same cycle over and over again, telling you to peacefully protest for justice, to try to reform laws that were never created for you. It's a suicide. It's suicidal, man. Control system. That's what we live under. Control system. That's how most oppressed indigenous people across the world live under. Control system. European supremacy is a control system. Institutionalized racism. Judicial institutionalized racism are part of the strategic tactics to control the people. It's part of white privilege. That's what white privilege is. So, that's just my little opening summary, man. But let me get to this new African order. This is what I made the video for. It's time for a new African order, and I'm calling that new African order right now. We gotta win. We gotta win the organizing area to move forward. Because right now we're in a standstill. You see what I'm saying? We've been in a standstill for decades. Why? Because we're still repeating the same mistakes and the same losses of our OGs from the 60s and the 70s and even before that. Well, really, particularly, I'm going to say the 60s and 70s, because that's when they started enforcing, the Jim Crow and all these laws to keep us controlled and to continue our slavery here in the United States of America, and the continuation of the legal, how can I put it, the legal execution of our people. See, they still have, when we got out of physical bondage, all they did was, strategically change these systems into a better format of controlling the people once we came out of Reconstruction and once we came out of slavery, man. You see what I'm saying? And they still got the green light to execute black people because it's their laws. You see what I'm saying? They still have permission to execute you, like they hung our ancestors. You see what I'm saying? Like they diseased our ancestors. All the tactics that they used back then, they're still using. It's just in a modern form. Period. They still had a green light legally to kill you. Period. Because it's their laws. It's the empire laws. They're not made for you. So stop following all these cats, man. Marching up and down the street, man. Got you out here in the middle of the streets protesting for nothing. That's your thing. You like to protest, that's your thing. You're not going to catch me protesting. And I still have a voice. You can't tell me that I don't have a voice. Because this struggle in my education level and knowing the history of my people's genocidal history in this country, man, I had a right to speak on anything that I want to speak on. You see what I'm saying? I still have a voice. Because I know our history here. I know our struggle, and I know what the struggle is for. So let me get right into this, man. The new African order, man. Rule number 1 on New African Communal Organizing, NACO. First of all, rule number 1. There should be no need for new rules, just order. The verdict against justice should have been expected. People can only be surprised if they refuse to acknowledge the history of black murder by law enforcement and the subsequent acquittals in the U.S. court system, including Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, Michael Stewart, Nicholas Haywood, Eleanor Bumbers, and Diallo, just to name a few. The acquittals is just a natural extension of backward progress currently taking place across America, which includes the recent negation of the Voting Rights Act. A large segment of the white American population is scared of losing their country. And the verdicts bring us back to the Supreme Court Dred Scott decision. Get educated on the Dred Scott decision. Go look that up. The Supreme Court Dred Scott decision that the Negro has no rights, which the white man is bound to respect. Now, not only does law enforcement have its long-standing past to kill black people and claim legal justifications after the fact, so does the neighborhood watchman who joins the shopkeeper and the businessman in having extrajudicial powers. It was also clarified that anyone from any race, white, Asian, Latino, and blacks, can kill black people. In fact, when black people kill each other, it's one of few times that there's guaranteed prison time because the state appreciates a 2-for-1 deal. These court cases always expose the vapid nature of our short-term memories and our desire to believe that things will be different this time. Look at evidence after the almost mandatory not guilty verdicts. We feign outrage that this could happen in America. Many of us want to continue to believe that there is a hope in this system. The alternative that we are hunted and despised people who are the survivors of an enslaved labor pool and that we were not intended to survive. It's too much to bear. It is hard for us to accept the truth. The American criminal justice system is not broken. It was designed to work this way. We are the ones who are broken if we believe in it over and over again. Rule 2. Get rid of the fake community leaders. Anyone who claims to be a community leader and who sees their role as chilling out the black community's reaction to these verdicts needs to be overthrown. These community leaders include ministers, politicians, nonprofit leaders, and Putins blast the airways and community with calls for prayer, peaceful protest, and national dialogue on race, and finally, let us move on and respect the jury decision outlook. It should be obvious that these so-called leaders take their marching orders not from the community that they supposedly represent, but from corporate media, corporate sponsors, donors. The foundations and government officials, these people make black leaders feel important just because they gave them the call. Their parasitic relationships keep the status quo going. They help the powers that be to get through this moment. Those in charge ask themselves, how do we get a peaceful reaction so that we don't lose control and hence our authority over the people? The answer, get the community leaders to calm things down. It's like the old song, but where are the clowns? Quick to send in clowns, don't bother. They're here. Right now, real community leaders should be advocating to the masses civil disobedience and direct action. They should be putting forward a mid-range plan, a plan that goes beyond call for Justice Department to intervene, a plan that targets shrinking of criminal justice system and the security state. Proposals should be drawn up to target community watch groups who authorize their members to carry weapons and to strip their armed toy cops of their weapons. The call should be to change the structure of policing so the community boards control the hiring and firing of officers on a precinct level. We need to direct this community outrage to reduce the numbers of prisons, to support the prisoners in California who are hunger striking for better conditions. These struggles over the criminalization of the black community are the natural extensions of the protests against these recent murders of New Africans across America and deaths. A real community leader would say that anytime there's an institution like the criminal justice system that has the power of life and death over you, you must either control that system or destroy it. Real community leaders speak truth to power. They don't cozy up to it and do its bidding. Rule 3, move to communities where your people make up the majority. If your elected officials are middle-aged white people who smile at you a lot, it may be a time to relocate. Being a majority labeled as a minority even in a sizable majority in a city with white officials, has become more of a hazard than at any time in the last 20 years. The American justice is divided across a great racial divide. We don't believe that black elected officials are on their own a cure for our problems. However, we do have a greater ability to pressure them. You may have more government services, but those services include more policing by officers who think your child is dangerous. If you move, the idea that your child is not easily singled out can give some kind of comfort and protection. Rule 4. If you can't move, buy a gun. This is a new but not new rule that people talk about behind closed doors. It's always controversial to suggest that black people buy guns. I have long and always stand firm as being an advocate of gun ownership. If you live in a jurisdiction where it's legal to carry one, don't be the only person without one. The larger white community is armed to the teeth. Their basic belief system is that black criminals will get them and black militants will seek revenge. Remember, in their distorted view, a black lefty with his militant wife already are in the White House, if that was only true. They believe that they are slowly losing their country because of the seemingly unstoppable demographic shift taking place. The combination of unrestricted gun laws and corresponding shoot first, ask questions later, and stand your ground self-defense laws will continue to give them wide latitude to justify why they just had to shoot you. We will see more death and more trials. This question may be a stark one, but would you rather be an unintended martyr or a living defendant? Rule 5, for the millionth time, get organized. It seems that we don't really like grassroots organizations. They are under-resourced, and they are sometimes organized more for the personal egos of their leaders than they are for the larger community. They are time-consuming with long, unusual, unstructured meetings and bad planning. Not a great way to spend one's time. However, organized people, even badly organized people, are far scarier to the status quo than a bunch of outraged individuals on Facebook. If you spend your time consuming products and not ideas, you are normalized and accepted. But you're usually no better informed than a 10-year-old child. No offense to the 10-year-old child who actually reads about the world. If you join a group that will place demands on your local officials and the community, you may not be liked and you may feel alone and crazy, but you would be more effective in finding solutions than would if you just ran about problems on Facebook. If we get our people organized, then the next time this happens, because this will happen again, we can just skip the trial, assert our power, and demand the justice that American courts would never provide. Not a rule, but strongly recommended. Talk about black liberation. Get educated on black liberation. Get educated on independence, self-determination, and destiny of your people. And get educated on being an independent people. Get educated about your black nation. Get educated about the black colony in the South that's struggling to get free. Get educated on being a segregationist. You see what I'm saying? Because the only thing that will fix our problems is being segregated and not integrated. Because segregation, however, how it's been painted in the past, at this point, is better for new African people. Get in the struggle, in the fight of being an independent nation and state within the United States of America. Because this is the only thing that will stop this government for killing your people, man. Black control of black lives will save lives. We must get control of black lives, man. Period. On the Black Organizing channel, Organizing Upgrade, we hope to incite some dialogue about what black liberation means and what it would take to rebuild the black liberation movement in this country. We know this isn't the only place to have that full dialogue. It's a good place to have it. So join in on black organizing in the New African Order. And what that New African Order is, get educated on the black liberation struggle and history of our people. Get educated on the Ma'afa and the history of the enslavement of black people in America. get educated on the external violence by this government and this European white supremacist citizens' history of murdering black people in America. Get educated on that, and get educated on self-defense, man. Period. And get organized on reparations and land. Period. This is what we should be organizing around. Nothing else. We should not be trying to organize to reform a system that can't be reformed, or organizing to fit in or seek justice for a system that wasn't built for us, man. And then in my description box, I'm going to put a video in the true, how can I put it? The true reality of the ongoing war of our people against the United States of the Empire, which deals with citizenship, the relationship of the colonized and the colonizer. I'm going to put this video in because many of y'all probably never seen this video before. And let's get organized, man. That's all I can say, man. Get organized, man. And you know, it's time to get past the stage of protesting. Period. It's time to get past that, man. Because all you're doing is repeating the same cycle over and over again of our OGs of the 60s and 70s and the 50s and 40s of, you know, their mistakes. And you know, it's not that you're going against them. It's just we must study their mistakes and their losses, man. Because we lost in the 60s and 70s. We gained a lot, but we lost a lot. And we're still losing right now. Why? Because we're getting out organized as black people, man. And that's basically it, man. I'm going to sign off right here. You know, black people, we're being out organized, man. It's time for a new African order, man. Black liberation through black education and new African education is the only situation, man. Let's get organized, man. It's time to free the nation, free the land, free the people, and, you know, stop committing self-suicide, man. Stop following these reformists, man, that look like you. Because there's a lot of y'all catch y'all reformists, man. I'm anti-reformist, man. Long live the Black Liberation Army. Struggle for it. Rebuild. Power to the people who don't fear freedom, man. Salute.